Hello there, my name is Ahmed Hussein and welcome to my channel. Today, I want to talk about a very common question. Which IDE should I use? People ask me all the time, should I pick IntelliJ, Eclipse, VS Code, Redis Studio, Lazarus, or maybe even using Notepad++? And here's the truth. It doesn't matter as much as you think. What really matters is the programming language you are working with, and more importantly, your ability to solve problems with it. Let's break these down. The programming language defines everything: the syntax, the features, the ecosystem, and the community around it. For example, if you are coding in Java, you will deal with object-oriented programming, the JVM, and frameworks like Spring Boot that we previously built tutorials about it. And in Python, you get dynamic typing, quick scripting, and things like Django, Flask, or even machine learning with TensorFlow. With JavaScript, you will focus on async programming, and you can build both front end and back end using Node.js. And in Pascal, whether you use free Pascal with Lazarus or Delphi inside Redis Studio, the language is the same: strongly typed, great for building GUIs, and very beginner friendly. I mean, in Delphi specifically, which I prefer to use to build the Windows applications, you just have a forms, and those forms you can drop buttons like using Photoshop. Drop some buttons as interfaces, and you double click on them and you start your code. So the IDE is just the environment. The real power, it's in the language itself. So Java works with Eclipse and the IntelliJ IDE and even B4J. And B4J is a tool that building those kind of Java codes in basic language. So the language that you are using is the more important thing that you have to take care of, not the IDE. Python works with PyCharm, VS Code, or even the default IDLE. Pascal works with Lazarus, and Free Pascal and Redis Studio with Delphi. The code, the logic, and the algorithm doesn't change. Only the tool you are using changes. I could write a simple calculator program in Lazarus, and then the same calculator in Redis Studio. Both are Pascal. Both work. Both have the ability to calculate some stuff. The only difference is in the editor that I used. So they both do the same job, but I just switch it between IDEs. So the IDE doesn't make you a coder. The IDE is a tool that help you write your code in a specific language. Now, don't get me wrong, IDEs are useful. They give you things like autocomplete syntax, highlighting, debugging, and sometimes even visual GUI like the one that we mentioned in Delphi. For example, Redis Studio and Lazarus both give you drag and drop GUI builders for Pascal. But here's the reality: a bad algorithm is still bad, no matter which IDE root it in. The IDE doesn't magically turn you into a better developer. It's just a tool, a helper to make you work easier. That's it. So focus on learning the language and building your problem solving skills. Once you are good with language, switching IDEs becomes super easy. Don't waste weeks debating Eclipse or IntelliJ IDE or Redis Studio or Lazarus. All of them, they can build the same logic. And instead, put the time into actually coding and building projects. At the end of the day, programming is about solving problems. The IDE is just the hammer, but you are the carpenter. So you have the hammer and you can design whatever you want. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye.